Alrighty, guys. Been busting on this thing. Got the whole roof brought down to metal. As you can see, there's quite a little dings. Actually, this was, I talked to one of the previous owners on this car. He reached out to me on Facebook, which is really awesome. I really enjoyed chatting with him about the history of the car and stuff like that. But he had said that this car, he was pretty sure had some hail damage at one time on the roof. And that was definitely correct. All of these little are hail, every one of these. So didn't take too long to go in there and fix those. I know there's going to be some more low spots that I missed and can't find. So I've got it to where I've got all the big ones. And even a lot of these aren't big even yet, but I noticed them. So I went ahead and fixed those while I'm here. I am going to go ahead and epoxy and high build prime this and block it, and that will show me the rest. And maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe there won't be any more, but I have a feeling there's going to be some more. So I did off camera take out all this weather stripping and the window strip channels and around the windshield so I could get all the way up to that and get it stripped. All this paint on this down here, I checked it really well. It is stuck really well. It's almost like they just painted the top and they blended it right here. Actually, that's exactly what they did. They blended it here, or somebody did. It's been painted a couple different times. At least this part. I think a lot of it hasn't been, but this part has. And then up here was peeling, so I stripped it down to bare metal on both sides. And then these areas back here were just really deep chips and like scratches. But overall, it's really straight. Didn't see any real issues other than, the roof. And then there was a little ding there, and then a ding across there. I went ahead and fixed. But for the most part, this thing's ready for primer, so I'm going to get it masked up and scuff the edges real well where the shiny paint is. And then we're going to get some primer on this thing. I'm really pumped to see that. And that's going to be massive for this project. Then all we'll really have that hasn't, hadn't been touched yet will be the doors. So let's get this roof and this the quarter panels in some primer. Alrighty, guys. I realized I skipped a little bit on time lapse. It just would have got to be a lot of time lapse stuff going on, stuff you guys have seen. So, but yeah, this door is ready for primer. It actually needed a little bit more body work than I thought it did once I got in there, but still, you know, not bad. I'm just glad it's rust free. Didn't need anything like that or any heavy body work. So that door is ready, all taken apart, every piece of it, all Scotch brighted, you know, and all the where the door handle goes and lock and all that stuff, completely ready. And then same way with this side. This door didn't hardly need anything. It had a little bit of a crinkle right here, and then some chips, and then that was a small ding up there. So really pumped about this, because after I primer these doors, that is the whole car minus the rear bumper and the small ground effect pieces. So we're really moving on this thing, and it's good to see. I had plans all weekend to work on the Nova, but my materials haven't showed up yet. They're going to be here this week. So you know, you guys will be getting another Nova video obviously once the Monday comes, and I'll be back on the regularly scheduled maintenance type stuff. So but yeah, the weekend I've been spending working on this car, and I've been making a ton of headway. So I'm gonna throw you guys back on the time lapse, and we're gonna get these doors primed in, and then I'm gonna pull the masking, and we can see the whole car all in primer. All right, guys, we did it. It is super late here, and I am pretty wore out. Been going hard at it all weekend. Got a ton done, as you can tell. Body work, prep, tear down, doors, roof, quarters. A lot has gotten done. But I want to get this one done for everybody watching out there. I know there's some people that are wanting to see it done and see it come back to life, and really enjoyed doing it, kind of get back to my roots. I put a lot of these cars together and tore apart a lot of them back in the day, and it's been fun. It's been a fun project so far. Just kind of going through that stuff I did, you know, when I was a kid, you know, throwing these things together with nothing. So yeah, on that note, I'm gonna close this video out. I think I got a lot done in this video here, and I don't want to get too long. It might be a pretty long video already, so but in the next video on this, I've still got to get the rear bumper and the ground effects primed, well, prepped and primed. I don't think they have any damage, like hardly at all, other than some minor stuff, you know, chips or whatever, maybe some scratches. But that hood and fenders and doors and quarters, you know, roof. This is the big deal of this car, is getting it this far here. So the next video, there might be some of that bumper stuff, ground effect stuff, where I might just go ahead and be blocking this. This whole car is going to get blocked down with probably 220, and then I am going to primer the whole car together to where it all gets one nice even layer of primer on it, and then I'll be wet sanding with 400 and then 600 the next coat of primer. But all this stuff, aside from the fenders have been primed 2 times, but I'm still going to prime them again with the car. But everything else has just got the one. It's got 3 coats of high build, but it's the one time prime. So, but yeah, in the next video, I'm going to block this all down and get our next coat of primer, and then that coat of primer will be ready at that point to wet sand it down. I'm going to jam the car, and then I'm going to put it all back together so I don't have to put it together when it's wet. And not only that, in the next video too, you're going to get a paint reveal. I've got the paint here. I'm going to put it in the next video, and I'm going to paint this car together. The bumpers and ground effects obviously off of it, but the rest of it, pretty much like how you see it here, is going to get painted together because I don't want any discrepancies with the pearls or metallics from fender to door or anything like that. I've painted many cars in pieces too, and I've not really had too much problems, to be honest. But it just seems like the cars I painted together, especially the cars that have a good amount of pearl or flake to them, metallics, they just turn out better. I think. I know you can do it separately, and there's a ton of guys that do, and I'm not knocking on anybody that does paint it separate, because I do that from time to time as well. But on this car, like I said, I'm going to jam it, foam tape everything, and paint it together. Toward then, once it's painted, I can cut it and buff it and put it together. You know, put the rest of it together, the small stuff. So yeah, yeah. Appreciate you guys watching. Really excited about this one here. It's getting to a point where it's exciting now. I know pretty much all the, as far as body goes, all the secrets or whatever might have been there. You know, there's nothing that I haven't seen yet as far as the body goes, so that's pretty exciting. And it won't be long. I'd say another week or 2, and we'll see some paint, at least in the jams. It'll probably be a little bit longer than that, maybe 2 or 3 weeks before I can paint the actual the whole car. But I'd say in a week or 2, we'll see some paint in the jams, and that'll be exciting in itself. You know, getting it jammed in, and then you know, on to getting it painted. So yeah, if you guys are watching, stick around, because it's kind of like the Nova. It's just now getting exciting for a lot of people. The Nova's getting ready to get paint, and an engine and all that stuff, and this car here is getting ready to get painted really soon too. Actually, it'll probably be a couple weeks of just straight painting. The Nova's got a lot to paint on it. This car's got a lot to paint. So once I switch gears from this bodywork and priming, it'll be nothing but paint for a little bit. So, and assembly. So yeah, on that one, I'm gonna end this one, guys, and appreciate you guys watching.